Hi, today on Crafting with Julie, we are going to learn how to make glitter pens, epoxy-free glitter pens. How exciting. And then we have two different colored Bic, just the plain old Bic round sticks. Either one of these will work. Now, so to prep the round sticks, you can take the cap off, obviously. You're gonna pull the ink out. So you have all of this to work with. Do that to both of them. And then on these, I also recommend, if you don't want glitter all the way down to your tip, you can cover the tip, but I'm actually going to cover the whole thing. So these you also want to put on your stick. So what I'm actually using for a dowel is a paper, like candy stick, cake pop stick, whatever you want to call it. And these sticks might actually be too big for, no, it's not. So the Bic round sticks are just, the sticks are just enough to go in, so you don't need tape on these for the Bic round sticks. Hey, it's not going anywhere. So now you're going to want to move all of your ink and your ends aside. So I have a little tray to kind of put everything in. So that I don't lose anything. Put it all in there so you don't lose it. All right, next you need sandpaper. So the kind of sandpaper that you need is 400 grit sandpaper. 220 is for finishing. We'll talk about that in a little while. So you need the 400 grit. You can use it in a block or you can use it in a paper. I prefer the paper for pens. It just makes life easier. So I always put something down on my desk. You can wear a face mask if you would like. That's kind of personal preference because you are sanding up particles. So your goal here is to rough it up enough that you take all of the shine. You don't want it shiny and slick, and when you run it underwater, you want your water to kind of stick to it. So as you can see, not shiny anymore. In some spots it is, so this is just a rough sand. I'll sand more here in a second. This one, the lettering is set down inside. So it's kind of personal preference if you want to sand the lettering off. If you're using a light colored glitter that's going to shine through like a white, anything that you are going to be able to read the letters through, you're going to want to sand it down. These were the first pens that I used to make glitter pens, were these with gold lettering on them. And I did a bright yellow glitter and it did show through. The gold lettering showed through, which isn't a big deal. It was a test pen. I was learning. I do not like the lettering showing through. So this one is, I'm not going to worry as much about the letters because I'm using a dark glitter. So it is personal preference, but I'm going to keep sanding these down. And so also on these Bic round sticks, they do have an end. I am going to be putting glitter on my ends. So you do want to also make sure that you glitter your end. So basically what I did is I just laid the sandpaper flat on my desk and pushed on it. You can also do it in your hand. Just kind of circle it around so that you get all the shiny sides on your end. So this pen looks just about golden to be able to start. Ready to use glitter glue and glitter. All right, so I just rinsed these off. They're dry and ready to go. So if you look, see how they're cloudy compared to this. So this means that they're ready to go. What I'm using is Crystal X glitter glue. Right, so now we're gonna do the exact same thing with this one. This one, what's nice is nothing needs to be taped off, but I am gonna show you how to do your ends. I wanna cover the pen in your glitter glue. Don't forget your end if you're doing your end. I want it covered all the way down. Mine I want covered all the way down to where the pen goes in. Make sure you smooth it all the way on there. And then to do the end, you're just gonna kind of tap your end so that it's covered in glue. So now you see how your end still has glitter glue on it. What I do is I just kind of dip it down in, just like that, and then you tap your pen, get the extra glitter off. Fuchsia. I really, really love this color glitter. And then we have that blue that I did. So here in 2 hours, we'll put another layer on and we'll keep going. So you're gonna smush it. You can use your fingers. I'm just kind of smoothing it around in my hand to kind of get the excess off. As you can see, glitter sticks to everything. So this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna take your glitter glue. I prefer just doing kind of a straight line across from end to end. Then you just kind of paint it on with your finger. On this one, you're just going to put the glitter on exactly the same way you did with the first layer and make sure that you cover your end. And we're going to do the exact same steps with this guy. We are going to do what is called smushing the glitter, basically making it flat and getting the excess off, so that when we start with our Crystalac product, it stays. What we're going to use here is wax paper, and you're simply going to put the pen in the wax paper and twist it around to get the excess glitter off. You can also use your fingers. Just remember, using your hands, you're going to get glitter everywhere. When you're done, you can dust off your wax paper and you can start again on your next pen. Also remember to get the end of your pen and make sure all of your glitter is rubbed smooth. This piece of paper. So as you can see, my work surface is wood. So I prefer with my Crystalac to not have it on my wood surface. Granted, it is water-based. You can clean it. I just find it easier to put something over my work surface. So we are going to start with my blue pen. So you can do this without gloves. I've done it both ways. I prefer using a rubber glove. It's just my personal preference, because I do not have a sink in my craft room. If I had a sink in my craft room, it would be totally different, but I don't. So what's nice with Crystalac is you don't need a whole bunch. So I'm just going to do a line up the pen, and then don't forget your end. Then you just, oops, if you drop a drop, that's fine too. And then you're just gonna smooth it on. So what I am using is, the abbreviation for it is called EP, for Extreme Protection. And then what you'll finish with is what we call BT, Bright Tone. So, and you can tell looking at it, see how much shinier it is? You can tell what is wet and what isn't. So you just want one even layer on it all the way from end to end. How glittery that is. Okay. And then you stick it in your drying rack.
You're going to want to do the exact same thing with your next pen as you did with the first. Super easy.
Hi. So these have been drying overnight. We have done 5 layers on these so far. Also, what you need to remember is every 3 to 4 layers, it is your choice, you need to sand them. Remember, we used 440 grit earlier to prep our surfaces. You do not want to use 440 now. You want to use 220. So I just get my sandpaper at the local hardware store. So you can let this be your finished product if you want. So if you want to have a finished product that has no vinyl decals on it, that's totally fine. But you need to make sure that after your first initial 3 layers, that you do 3 more layers of bright tone. So you have 2 different products. You have your Extreme Protection, your EP. This is what I use to build my layers up. This is what you have to finish it with. And you can use this from start to finish. A lot of people do. I just choose not to. So if you want to, you would just simply pull your stick out, finish cleaning up your end, and stick your ink in it. But I like to be fancy. So as you can see on here, I already cut out a vinyl decal. Okay, so this one is ready for the last little piece of the decal. So what you do is you place it how you want it. So with this blue tape, you can see your decal through it. Let's see, I'm gonna put mine right here, kind of in an angle to match the lettering. You just squish the tape on there. You slowly peel it off so that your vinyl sticks to your project. And if it is not sticking, that is a good indicator that your pen is not smooth enough. You squish it on the rest of the way with your fingers. And so when you put your next layer of Crystalac or Bright Tone over this, it goes right over the vinyl. You can also choose not to seal your vinyl. On a pen, I don't necessarily recommend that because holding it, rubbing, you're eventually going to rub your vinyl. Okay, here are our 2 pens. So this one we did without a decal. This one we did with one. So this one has been finished with our bright, or not our bright, yeah, our bright tone, which is this. Looks just the same as our Extreme Protection, which is why you need to label them. I can't stress the importance enough of labeling them. So this one, we're going to pull our stick out because we are finished. Wiggle. Out it comes. As you can see, there's still some residue around the edges. Not much. So what you can do is you can either take an X-Acto knife, or you can take a piece of sandpaper. I prefer the sandpaper. Again, 220. You can just take it and just ever so gently, because what you want to make sure you don't do is don't pop the seal around it. So you just kind of want to get the stuff that's up against the edges off. So I don't have any more real chunks. Right here I do. Kind of just going in a circular motion. All right, so what you see here is the groove for the pen, but there's no more chunks. Then you simply stick your pen in there the right way. And my friends, you have done it. You've made your first Crystal ballpoint pen. What? How awesome is that? So,
You're going to finish the pen with the vinyl the exact same way you did with the non-vinyl pen. Just know that with vinyl, it will take a little bit longer because you do have to use more layers to cover up your vinyl because you want your vinyl to be smooth as well.
put your ink in and you are good to go. So thank you for crafting with me. And this is how you make glitter pens.